Okay, thank you very much. My name is Grant Cambridge. I'm from Meraka Institute at the CSR in South Africa. And I come from a development environment. Okay? My original background is guided missile systems, from the explosives to the rocket propellants to the guidance systems. I've now changed that knowledge into something useful. Okay? A project called Digital Doorway. Okay, we're starting to build up instead of break down. In keeping with the theme of this afternoon, I'm going to do something completely different. Okay? I come from Africa. I'm proud to come from Africa. I'd be very happy to go back to Africa. I'm going to give you a reality check. Okay? Everything that was said this morning was fantastic. Okay? The gentleman from VIA picked it up for the first time and said, hang on guys, what we were talking about with Web 2.0, Education 2.0, all of that is designed for Western civilization. Okay, where you have broadband. Okay. In an African context, life is tough. Okay, there are some statistics. Okay, majority of people in rural Southern Africa have never seen a computer. Okay, so how are you going to teach them, give them an education, if they're using Education 2.0 or Web 2.0 applications, if they've never seen a computer? Okay, the reality is, your rural village, okay, the education quality there is as good as your teacher. Okay? Unfortunately, we have cases where teachers simply do not rock up to work, and you have parents standing in for teachers. Okay? So your ability to learn is limited by the teacher. Okay? And it is a scary thought. If you've got a lousy teacher, forget it. You're not going to learn anything. Okay? Some of the rural areas, your world is as big as you can walk in 8 hours. Okay? Geography. Okay, there's a field there, there's a clump of trees there. That is your geography knowledge. Majority of the kids have never even heard of America, okay? Which is an interesting thought. Cellular technologies. Everybody's talking about cellular technology. And yes, I saw a report this morning that for the first time, South African cellular penetration has reached 101.8%. Okay, which is, yeah, interesting. Okay, I guess it depends on how you calculate it. Okay. Some of the realities. Those cell phones are hand-me-downs. Okay. Some of them are reasonably good, some of them are really terrible. Okay. We have cases where people are actually skipping meals because the cell phone is seen as a status symbol. Okay? If I have a cell phone, I'm able to communicate. Communication is one of the basic human requirements. Okay? But that status comes at a cost. Skipping meals, people having to walk for several hours, several times a week, simply to charge the cell phone because there's no electricity in the village. The changing in education. Okay. Education is based on respect. Okay. If you do not respect the person who is educating you, you're not going to learn. Okay. It's a bidirectional thing. You cannot stand on a stage. I think the popular thing is a sage on a stage. Okay. It's moving away from that. You're moving from an education was the original theory behind education was, oh, we're going to teach you this just in case you need to know it. Okay? We're now moving to just in time. Okay? You're only going to need to know this when you need to know it. Okay? How do you get that respect? Okay? And it's difficult questions. It's not a simple answer. Some of the challenges we face. Rural environments. Okay? My boss moaned at me a couple of months ago because I insisted on buying 5 drill bits to go to a site. She said to me, why do I need 5 drill bits? I said to her, if I take one and I break it, I have an 8-hour round trip to the nearest hardware store. Okay? That is a long way. Okay? Challenges in maintenance. Okay? You put this beautiful high-tech equipment out there, and it breaks. Okay? You can't just send somebody out there. The distances are vast. Okay? The directions that we get sometimes one of our sites up in the northern province, a place called Makuva. We went there the first time, and the guy sent me directions. He said, you go through, take the first dirt road off. He says, there used to be a sign there, but somebody stole it. So look for 2 short pieces of steel sticking out the ground about the same width as a sign. Go through the first ditch. Okay, the first ditch, if you didn't have 4x4, you forget it. You're not going to get through it. They refer to it as a ditch. Okay, it almost swallowed the car. He says, get to the 3rd village along the road and turn left at the big tree. Okay, we arrived there. Hey, all the trees are big. Okay? These are the sort of challenges that you face in deploying technology in Africa. Okay? The dust, the heat. One of my site managers told me the other day that it's not only heat. Okay? They had a minus 36 degrees C temperature a couple of weeks ago. Okay? One of the other problems with technology is vandalism. Okay? That's one of our systems that somebody managed to break. Okay? The screen used to be there. They actually smashed the screen right through. Okay? They've also broken the keyboards. Now, these are probably one of the toughest keyboards you can get in the world. I took that keyboard and I sent it back to the supplier, and he hasn't spoken to me since. He was convinced that his keyboards were tough. The digital doorway. Okay, for those of you interested, there's one upstairs, just around the corner from where you guys had lunch. Okay. The concept of the digital doorway, how do we get people information literate? Okay. Build computers, put them in specially designed steel cases, make them rugged, make them as vandal-proof as possible, put them out in the field, and then study how people learn to use computers. Okay. The scary thing is that in villages of 5,000 people, we did a survey, 2 people had heard of a computer. Okay? Heard of a computer. Nobody had ever seen one. Okay? Nobody knew what an automatic telemachine is. Never been used. Okay? We put on a system. Within 7 days, the children had developed a language to describe what they were doing on the screen. Okay? Because in a rural village, there's no such thing as an icon. There's no such thing as a mouse pointer. Okay? In most rural villages, a mouse is a snack. Okay? It's not a pointing device. The system is rugged. It's been designed to be rugged. And the incredible thing is, based on Dr. Sugata Mitra's hole in the wall, okay, this project has exploded in South Africa. It is really, really powerful. And to see how the kids teach themselves to use computers, become literate. Okay? English, most of the content on the system is English. It doesn't seem to worry them. Okay? A lot of the games are simple maths games. The advantage of putting a system like this into a rural village, coming back to the teacher scenario, is that you're actually starting to push the teachers to improve their knowledge. Before Digital Doorway, the teacher used to say 2 + 2 is 5. The kids had no reference point. They've got no way of arguing. They're now starting to argue and say, hang on, Tuck's maths says 2 + 2 is 4. Okay? And quite honestly, they believe the computer more than the teacher. Okay? We have had sites where they've actually had to switch the computer off during school hours because the kids refused to go to school. Okay? Because they reckon they were getting a better education teaching themselves as opposed to going to school.